Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Hope you're all having a great start to your week. I want to get straight into this video all around my new favourite tuning on the guitar. But for a bit of background and a bit of context, I want to talk briefly about my debut single that came out last Friday called First Light. Really, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who streamed it, downloaded it, sent me an email, sent me a DM, left a comment. You know, all of your support on this release has absolutely blown me away. This is a debut release for me. I've not released any music under my own name before. In the past, I've just given away all of my song ideas to all of my other musical friends, but I decided to keep a few for myself this time, and I've got some new music coming out every week now, between now and Christmas, pretty much. But this whole project of releasing and writing my own music is the thing that made me kind of go after some more alternate tunings and to start experimenting a little bit more, because that debut release, that single First Light, is an instrumental acoustic track. And when you are playing unaccompanied, when there's only one instrument and when there's no lyrics and there's nothing else to make the song interesting other than the guitar, it does force you a little bit to kind of think outside the box and to explore some other avenues. Now, if you're a beginner or if you haven't experimented with different tunings in the past, then the idea of completely changing the tonality of the guitar and sort of relearning where your notes are and where your intervals are can definitely be a very, very daunting thing. But I definitely think there are ways to get into alternate tunings that are accessible to everybody. And the tuning that I'm going to show you today is one that if you play standard tuning, you can easily adapt to this tuning without even giving it a second thought. So I've really enjoyed the process of writing my own songs, and it's definitely been a challenge. I was really struggling to get sounds out of the guitar that I was happy with. I was struggling to get enough bass, to get enough sort of low end, and to sort of get enough sound to fill the mix in the way that I wanted to. I mean, I listen to a lot of instrumental guitarists, but when you're trying to cover a lot of ground sonically, having some extra low end is really, really nice. And a lot of people will, maybe use drop D, where you just, tune your low E string down to D, so then you can play in the key of D major, but you can get a lower bass note for your roots, which is just really nice. Again, helps fill out the mix. But I took things a step further. I just decided to tune my whole guitar down a whole step. So effectively, my low string was still D, but then all the other strings were tuned down accordingly. So it's basically standard tuning, but a whole step lower. And that means when you play an open E string or an open E chord, you're effectively then just playing in D major. And then I took it a step further because I really liked the kind of voicing and the intervals and the chord shapes that you get from playing in, D major. So when I decided to tune that low, now effectively D, down a whole step again to C. So I'm basically now doing drop D in D standard. And then I really kind of felt like I was getting somewhere. So this is why I was saying earlier that you don't necessarily need to relearn the guitar in this tuning because all of your intervals and all of your notes are going to be the same. It's just the fact that the whole guitar, the range of the guitar, starts at a much lower pitch. Now you can obviously just change this back to standard, so just kind of go from like an E to an E as it would be in standard tuning. And now you can play sort of all of your normal open chords, but you just get so much more of a fuller sound. although it's lower, it doesn't necessarily like, you know, tread on the toes of like a bass player. It's not like a baritone tuning. It still sounds like a guitar, which is often the pitfall you can get into if you tune your guitar too low, is that you're sonically then potentially getting in the way of other, you know, low-end instruments such as a bass. And with this, you're kind of retaining all of those great guitar qualities. But if you're just looking to write your own music, if you're looking to do something a bit more instrumental, or if you just want to get a little bit more kind of low end and some more character out of the guitar, then this is a great tuning for that. I've really, really enjoyed it. And this Martin now pretty much lives in D standard. I recorded all 4 tracks, all 4 singles that are coming out for the 4-track EP. All of them were done in D standard. And yes, I occasionally used a capo to capo up and to, you know, change sort of the tonality, but essentially it was all done with this tuning in mind. And it just opened up a whole other way of thinking for me from like a writing perspective, because I was hearing things differently. You know, I was playing an E major chord, but everything just sounded so much fresher that it just definitely brought out different things in my playing, which meant that my writing improved as a result of that, just because I was reacting and responding more to what the guitar was giving me, and it was something that was kind of fresh to my ears. So I just thought I would quickly share that with you. If anyone is interested in sort of learning First Light, I've had a couple of questions from sort of people asking for tabs and for sheet music, because especially when you first hear it, you know, you try to figure it out by ear and you realize quite quickly that it sounds a lot lower than a standard tuned guitar, and that would of course lead to people asking, you know, what tuning it was in, which is what's prompted me to make this video in the first place. But I will be releasing a Patreon page in the next couple of weeks, and as part of the membership to my Patreon, which I'm going to try and make as affordable and as sort of, you know, as much value as possible, but I'm going to be trying to release all of the kind of sheet music and do some more lessons on Patreon for my original music, and tons of other perks as well. So it's going to be more cost effective to do that as opposed to hopefully buying sheet music and that sort of thing, and you'll get a ton of other perks as a result as well. So definitely the best value for money, but I will share more about that when the page is kind of ready to be launched. We're not too far off, just need to make a couple of tweaks and then we'll be good to go. So I hope you found this video helpful at least. I hope it answers a few questions and gives you a few things to try out on the guitar. In the whole vein of original music and the songs I've been writing, my next single is coming out on Friday. It's called Hibernal. It's the next song on the EP, so it follows on nicely from First Light. And if you haven't heard First Light yet, it will all be in the description for you to go and check out on Spotify and Apple Music. Anyway, that's enough plugging of all of my various musical shenanigans for now. Thanks all so much for watching, for all of the nice comments and messages you've sent over the last few days. You guys are all amazing. So grateful for all the support. Thanks so much for watching. Comment down below, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that good stuff. And I will see you all very, very soon. Take care.